Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my perfume tray update for the first 2 weeks of May. I have been just using a bunch of fragrances, spraying myself like a maniac, morning, day, night, and just really taking notes. So if you are new here and you love anything girly, beauty, fragrance, self-care, body care, all of that, then go ahead and subscribe because for my upcoming videos. And with that said, let's get right into today's video. So here are the fragrances. I don't want to knock this down, but here are the fragrances that I have been wearing these first 2 weeks of May. And if you are watching this on the day that I uploaded this video, it is Mother's Day. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of you guys who watch me, who are mommies. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. And I hope and wish that you have a beautiful day, not just today, but all of the time. I hope that you are appreciated and loved and keep on doing your thing, because we know the superpower that it is to be a mom, no matter at what age, at what stage of motherhood. It is all a crazy, beautiful, most rewarding experience of life. So happy Mother's Day. For today's update, I have just a super crazy update. I have to start off with the first one that just did me so dirty. When I tell you this fragrance did me dirty, I don't want to accept it, because I fell in love with this fragrance. So many of you guys weren't really aware of the fragrance being released. And I'm so happy that many of you guys told me that you were going to go smell it before you bought it, because what happened to me right now, this is the reason why I sometimes get scared to give my opinion during like a haul, or I don't want to seem like too excited about a fragrance during a haul, because what really matters are these updates. These updates are great because I've actually spent time with the fragrance. Some time has gone by, so I get to know the fragrance much better, because this one right here is a true example of smelling a fragrance the first time, falling head over heels in love with it. I was so excited to wear it this month, and the times that I've worn it, which has been like 3 times already, it gave me a headache. It smells completely different from what I described in my haul, and unfortunately that is Oscar de la Renta Bella Tropical. I'm heartbroken. I'm really heartbroken with this fragrance. Like, let me show you the little dent that it has going on, because I just don't want to give up on it. I come up to it in the middle of the day. I spray my wrist. I spray myself, because I just don't want to believe the change that this did. What I'm thinking happened, and this is why I would love to learn so much more about the process of making a fragrance, how the notes develop, how they can change weeks or months after getting a fragrance, because this is so different from when I first smelled it. When I first smelled it, I remember telling you guys that I got like a very beachy, tropical, I think I got like some coconut in there, and I got the pineapple in the opening, which I was very excited about because I really love pineapple in fragrances, and it's a note that many times gets mixed with patchouli, and I hate that combination. So when I find a fragrance with pineapple and there's no patchouli in there, I'm just like, perfect, this is for me. What happened with this? I don't know if maybe it's because I bought this when it was literally just released, and maybe these bottles were super fresh or something. I wish that I can get what I smelled the first time back. And I was so excited to make this like my summer 2023, like one of my signature scents for the summer. And I'm gonna let you guys know what changed. I'm going to spray it on my hand, and hopefully, who knows, maybe today there's like a magical change. I can't. There's something floral, very sharp and screechy that's coming up in this fragrance that I did not get the first time I smelled it. Now all I'm getting is something that kind of smells like gardenia. The other day I sprayed it all over myself, and it gave me the worst headache ever. It is just something that developed in here that is screechy. It's sharp. I don't know. I'm definitely not going to declutter it right now because I want to see if like maybe when the heat just goes down a tiny bit and it's not as hot, maybe that won't come out as strong. But then again, if this is a Bella Tropical fragrance, which is kind of hinting at the fact that this is going to be a perfect summer fragrance, then I shouldn't be picking up something that's so heady and screechy and just super sharp. I'm not sure what it is, and it's staying into the dry down. So if it left after maybe, let's say if it left after like 10 minutes, I would forgive it because the other notes are beautiful. But I'm no longer being able to pick up the pineapple. I'm no longer being able to pick up those beachy notes because all I'm getting is this scratchy, sharp floral. So if you haven't got this, and I hope that not too many of you guys got it because of me, and if you did get it because of me, I really, really hope that you love it, because just because something isn't working for me doesn't mean that maybe you love it and it works for you. But this is just my experience with this fragrance, and I'm just really, really just upset and sad about it because I no longer enjoy this, and I was so in love with it when I first got it. So I do have a fragrance haul coming up of a few fragrances that I picked up full bottles of, and I've literally been letting them sit in my drawer for like, I think it's been 2 weeks now, because I want to make sure that when I give my first impression to you guys, when I do my haul, they've had time to sit there and kind of develop whatever notes that want to develop so that this doesn't happen. Because this one, I was so excited about it. But if you did get this one, or if you smelled it in the store, let me know your experience. Let me know if you're still getting that beachy tropical scent that I described in the beginning when I first smelled this. And if you haven't got it, I think this is one that needs to be tested out, and maybe even get like a sample and take it home with you to see how it changes, because the way that this changed, it was like they're on different sides. It's like a totally different fragrance now, and I'm just I'm so disappointed. And the packaging is the most beautiful packaging. Like, I am obsessed with the bottle. It's so gorgeous. It screams out tropical summer vibes. That was the biggest disappointment, I think, of like this month, hands down. So now let's move on to the other fragrances. So the next one that I have been using, this one is my tried and true one that many people don't like, and it's my baby, and it gets attacked so much, and it also just gets like called just a cleaner. It smells like a house cleaner. It's disgusting. It's too citrusy, so many things. And to me, this is just my guava goddess, and that is Versace Dylan Turquoise. I love this bottle. I love the color of it. I love the juice in here. I love everything about this fragrance. I mean, this bottle is so gorgeous. I love it so much. It makes me think literally of having like the ocean in a bottle, because it's just so beautiful. And this fragrance, still, I love it just as much. I literally have a guava in my kitchen right now that my grandma gave me. I went to go spend time with my grandma and my aunt recently, and they sent me home with a box full of guavas and plantains and bananas. I mean, I'm gonna definitely miss that about living here, because you really don't find that in other places. But my kitchen right now smells like straight up guava, just from a couple guavas in my fruit basket. That's just the reason why I love this. It's just... I pick up the guava so much in here, and maybe that's what saves this fragrance for me. This fragrance isn't super long lasting, but I will say that it does last on my clothes a good amount of time. I would say more than like 4 or 5 hours on clothes. On skin, I would say like 3 hours. It's so good. I love this one so much. Please let me know in the comments if you are team Dylan Turquoise, because I know there's not too many of us, but if you pick up that beautiful guava in here, it's just gorgeous. It's juicy. There's like this juicy guava, but then you have that bright citrus and then the woody aspect in it. If you're looking for like a summer fragrance and you do love the note of guava, and you love like a bright citrusy energizing type of fragrance, and then it has kind of like this woody base to it, so it's not completely citrusy, check out Versace Dylan Turquoise. This is just, I've loved this fragrance for like, I think going on 3 years now, and I'm happy that I have this big bottle and I use it so much, and I feel like The dent is like barely there. I don't know. It's gonna last me a long time, but for summertime, this is just a must-have for me. So that is Versace Dylan Turquoise. Next up, I'm gonna talk about another Versace fragrance that I have been using a whole lot. This one, I'm not going to say that I love as much as Dylan Turquoise, but it's an oldie but a goodie. And this one can be unisex. It has this kind of sweetness in it that makes it unique. And this is Versace Versense. So as you can see, we have really gotten that dent in this bottle. I wore this last night to bed. I sprayed it on myself this morning before I got ready. I do have a different fragrance on now. So there's days that I could wear up to like 3 fragrances depending on what I'm doing. So when I woke up this morning, I put on my Bath & Body Works, is it Coconut Lime Breeze? I think that's what it's called. That's one of my favorite scents. I love the combination of coconut and lime together, and then I sprayed this on top, and this does last on clothes as well. I slept with this last night, and when I woke up in the morning, my PJs still smelled like this. This is a very citrusy, lime, breezy, refreshing. It's like a bowl of limes, like juicy limes that you cut in half and you just serve them on top of ice or something, because it's very cooling and refreshing, but super citrusy as well. There's fig in here, so it kind of helps to kind of round out the fragrance. It's not too sharp, but you definitely have to like citrus to enjoy this fragrance. This one is one that you can find at TJ Maxx, you can find it at Marshall's, you can find it at discounter websites for super affordable. So if you are a person who really loves citrusy fragrances and unisex fresh types of fragrances, I would definitely recommend this one. And for hot weather, it's perfect. It's not going to get cloying. It's not going to give you a headache, nothing like that. It's just going to smell very bright, uplifting, refreshing. It's like an energy booster. So that is Versace Versense. I'm not sure if I'm going to repurchase this once I run out. I definitely see myself getting it again in the future, but it's not like a must-have fragrance for me, but I do enjoy it while I have it, and I have really been wearing it a lot in this really hot weather. All right, so sticking with Versace, I have another one, and this is a tiny little Versace Dylan Purple. So I did get this one during the Sephora sale, and I wore this one, I would say, about 2 times. This one is funny because this is one that is the other way around. So I didn't enjoy this fragrance when I first smelled it. I didn't find it special at all. It didn't last at all on my skin. And this is also a new release. So I feel like when something is a new release, you need to give it like a few weeks for it to really just blossom into whatever fragrance is going to be. So this, now when I wear this is gorgeous. I love this. This is just a sexy fragrance. To me, it's very, very sexy. It makes me feel sexy, and it's just very unique. It's not unique in a niche way for those of you who only want like super complex fragrances. It's not that. But I feel like the notes that they used in here are unique and different in the designer world. They use different florals. I like it more and more the more that I wear it. And for me, what really, I'm definitely going to be getting a full size of this one, that's for sure. What does it for me with this fragrance is the dry down. So the opening for me is not really special at all. It smells good, but it's not something that I'm like, ooh, I need to have that. But about 15 to 20 minutes into wearing this fragrance, it turns into the most sexy, like intoxicating type of scent on my skin. And my husband goes crazy over this one. Every single time that I've put this on my hand or I've tested it out and he comes up to me to give me a hug or something, he's always just like, ooh, that smells really good. It just turns into a very sexy, beautiful, feminine fragrance, and not in like a young way. It's more like a grown woman type of way. Like, it's just very sexy to me, and it's almost hard for me to describe what I get with this fragrance, but for the most part, the first thing that comes to my mind with this fragrance is kind of like a woody, sexy fragrance with a little fruit mixed in, but the fruit doesn't really take over for me. It's more of that woody kind of musky scent. I don't know if I've ever had a fragrance with ISO E Super. I'm not too sure, but it does have ambroxan, which I do love. And there's a few different types of woods in here. There's this Belambra tree, which I have never seen in a fragrance before. There's Virginia cedar, ISO E Super, which is a woody, cozy, ambery, musky note. And that's exactly what I pick up. So I think that ISO E Super for me is like kind of like the star of the show and what's making it a little different different for me. And the dry down is just so beautiful, paired with those citrusy notes, which they're not too bright, they're not too sharp. The florals in here are also kind of like just smooth. There's nothing really in here that bothers me. I would say it's like a fruity floral woody scent. So I like it. I think they did a great job with this one. So that was Versace Dylan Purple. Moving on, we have Floral Street Wonderland Peony. Now this one, I struggled a little bit with this one, but it's not gonna get decluttered or anything because this is another guava scent that I really, really love. It's a guava scent, very sweet. It does have florals in it as well, but lately I have been kind of picking up a little bit more on like something a little sharp in here as well. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to spray a little less and like a little bit further down, because I kind of went crazy the other night and I sprayed it like behind my ear and in my hair and just created like this huge scent bubble around me, and then I kind of regretted it afterwards because it was kind of strong. But when my husband walked in the room, he was like, this room smells so good. Like he really liked the way that this smelled. And of course I'm gonna give you like a sneak peek, but I did pair these two with the new Sol de Janeiro bikini season. So these two are the ones that I have been pairing with that, and they're gorgeous together. So this fragrance has notes of cotton candy, it has guava, there's red berries, there's lemon, you have raspberry bloom, peony, vanilla, woodsy notes. I mean, there's a lot in here. Now, what I have been getting a lot lately, for sure, the guava is the star of the show. And I do get the red berries. I start getting the peony, the cotton candy. It's just that it can get a little sharp. So that's the only thing that I will say about this one. But the longevity is pretty good. I would say it's kind of like moderate on me. Just a reminder, fragrances don't really last long on me. My skin just eats up fragrances. So when something lasts like a really long time, I do make it a point to let you guys know. Because for the most part, fragrances last on me maybe like 3-4 hours and they turn into a skin scent most of the time. So this one would be kind of like an average, moderate lasting power, but it does create a very nice scent bubble around me, and I can definitely smell myself while I'm wearing this, which is my favorite thing with fragrances. Now I'm going to move on to one that I absolutely love, and it is limited edition. I'm going to finish this up probably before I leave here because there's not too much left in this fragrance, and this is Marc Jacobs Daisy Love Skies. When this came out, I fell in love from the moment that I received this fragrance. It was a blind buy, and it's just one of those beautiful, pretty scents. You just want to smell pretty. You want to put something on that's just, you don't have to think too much about it. You can wear it anywhere. It's just very feminine, girly. This has kind of like a creamy touch to it, but then there's also a salty note in here, so you get that balance of like sweet and a little salty. This one also has raspberry, it has whipped cream, there's ambrette, which I love, and then the base notes are moss, white woods, and amber. So it's very rounded out fragrance, very nicely blended, and it's not long lasting. I mean, none of these Daisy Love fragrances are long lasting. And this one doesn't create a crazy scent bubble around me. I can smell it, but not the whole time. I feel like after a couple hours, it's pretty much, I don't really smell it too much, so that's the only downfall about this one. But I do love just spraying this on, especially for bed. These types of fragrances are great when you're home, when you're going to bed. I wouldn't necessarily pick this up if I'm going out and I want a fragrance that's going to last longer. But if I just want to smell pretty and it has like this creamy touch to it, it's a little salty, it's fruity, it's really, really nice. I kind of wish this one wasn't limited edition. Pretty girly, flirty scent. So that is Daisy Love Skies. As you can see, I'm gonna be done with this one before I leave here. There's not too much left in this one. Next up, we have the fragrance that I am wearing today, and this is Ralph Lauren's Beyond Romance. The scent is pretty big in this one as well. This is one that I am trying to finish up before I leave. I'm trying to finish up those bottles that have kind of like halfway, because I know that it's easier for me to get through them. So this is going to be one that I'm going to finish up, and I'll definitely get this in the future. This is Raspberry Creamy Candy. Like, it's just musky. This one's another one where the longevity is not too impressive. I wish that it lasted a little longer, but it does turn into a skin scent that just gives your skin like this beautiful raspberry musky. There's like a warmth to it as well. It's almost cotton candy smelling like. It's just really sweet and flirty. And like I said before, really popular with the men. A lot of husbands really love this according to your comments and according to my husband. He really likes this scent as well. It just makes you smell very sugary sweet. Kind of makes me think of like an ice cream, almost like a raspberry ice cream or something. It's just a very sweet fragrance. You have to like sweet fragrances with this one. And I will say I get kind of like 4 to 5 hours out of this one. It lasts longer on clothes as well on my skin. It doesn't stick around too long, and it does turn into a skin scent fairly fast, but the scent is just so good. You can't go wrong with this. If you love sweet, if you love musky, if you love fruity, it's so good. It's kind of like what I thought pink sugar would smell like, but I don't really enjoy pink sugar. But this is kind of like what I would think a cotton candy type of fruity scent would smell like. Pink sugar to me kind of smelled a little more like burnt in a way, like it was sweet, but then there was something in there that just like disrupted that and kind of made it smell like burnt. I don't get that with Beyond Romance. I just get like this beautiful candy raspberry musky scent, very sweet and just really flirty. Next up, my baby. I need to wear this one a little more. I wore it, I would say 2 or 3 times so far this month, and I did wear it to go out. This is the 7 Virtues Coconut Sun, and I do remember describing this scent and telling you guys that I was getting like some type of brightness in here, like a citrusy, almost like lime and coconut type of vibe. And I don't pick up too much of the jasmine, which I know some people are picking up like a really big dose of jasmine. It's funny that I hate jasmine and I don't really pick it up that much in here. I get more of like this refreshing, light, like airy coconut, lime, or bergamot, like something sparkly. Like the coconut, it's like coconut water. I don't necessarily think that this is like a creamy fragrance. This to me is like the most refreshing coconut. It's so easy to wear. I'm gonna smell like 300 fragrances today. It's so good. And this replaced my Skylar Coconut Cove because this one reminds me a lot of Coconut Cove without the cardamom, and without that fragrance had something that turned a little bit sour after a while. And this one doesn't do that. So I ended up keeping this one over Coconut Cove, but they're very similar in like consistency and texture, in like how refreshing and thin they are and how perfect they are for summertime. So they added this to Fragrantica, and now I can let you guys know more of like what people are picking up. So I'm going to be putting the main accords on the screen for you guys, and people are saying that this is floral, which I don't really get too much floral in here. I feel like the florals are kind of in the background, giving it like that feminine kind of touch to it, but they're not the star of the show for me. So I would skip over the floral. I would say that this is citrus, vanilla. It's definitely something salty about it. It is tropical in a way, not in a fruity way though. This is tropical, like you are at the beach and there's someone like selling coconuts and you're just at a very tropical Caribbean location. Not the beach in the States, like the beach, like in the islands somewhere. That, yeah, it's definitely tropical in that sense. And it's like fresh. I don't necessarily get like tonic or powdery out of this one, and I do feel like it does have a marine element to it as well. So they definitely describe it as top notes coconut water, which is kind of what I've been saying the whole time with citruses. I definitely got like a sparkling feeling to this fragrance. The middle notes: sea salt, frangipani, Egyptian jasmine, rose. I don't really pick up rose in here, and if I do, it's giving a very nice twist because there is something that I can't really put my finger on it. It might be the rose. And then the base note is vanilla. So when it starts drying down, it just turns into this beautiful coconutty vanilla. So yeah, that is Coconut Sun. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It's not super long lasting, but for hot weather, I definitely recommend this fragrance. It's gonna make you feel refreshed. And the hotter it is, the more you're gonna kind of pick up the scent radiating off of your skin. So if it was cool, I wouldn't even reach for this one because I don't think it would even last. But in the heat, it just like radiates off of your skin. So this is a gorgeous summer scent for me. Next up is another one that kind of is in the same category as Coconut Sun for me, kind of like the same consistency. And this has been a favorite for a while, for summertime, for like a couple years as well. And this is Dolce & Gabbana Sun. This right here, oh my god, this is just the fragrance that I reach for if I'm going to be at a pool, at the beach, or by the ocean. Actually, this weekend we're going to go to a house that we rented for my father-in-law's 50th birthday, and for Mother's Day we're gonna kind of combine that weekend together. We're gonna be staying at a house that has a pool, and we're just going to be having lots of fun. So this is coming with me. I think I'm going to be taking these two with me, and then I'll take one for Mother's Day, which I still don't know what my scent for Mother's Day is gonna be, but this one for the heat, oh my god, this is another one that kind of gives me like, you know that song that's like, you put the lime in the coconut? That's kind of like what I think with this. Like, it's just citrusy, it's bright, it's coconut, it's like solar. I feel like my skin is perfectly tan, and I've been in the beach for like 3 days and my skin is just bronze and just gorgeous, and I have beachy hair, and I just don't even care what I'm wearing. I'm just so relaxed and I smell amazing. Like, that's literally what I think with this. This is like a summer goddess for me. If this lasted longer, it would be like one of my all-time favorite fragrances, but you can't really ask for long lasting from Light Blue. Like, Light Blue has never really been long lasting, and then it's citruses, it's very thin notes in here, so you really can't expect for it to be this beast mode fragrance that's going to last a really long time. It's just something that you can literally pick up and spray it all over yourself as many times as you want, and you're just going to smell very nice and summery and coconutty. And this is also like a coconut like water for me. It's just very thin, and this one does have lemon, so even though it's not lime, it has lemon, but it definitely, you get that mix. So if you're like me and you love that mixture of lime and coconut, or lemon and coconut, this is a must-have. It's so, so good. There's also apple in here, but that is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. And I have been talking for a really long time. We are down to our last fragrance, and that is the original Burberry Her. I'm still undecided on what I'm going to do with this one. Like, I think I'm just going to keep this one because I really, really enjoy the original Burberry Her, even though lately I have been really loving the Elixir a little bit more. But this is just like strawberry baby doll type of fragrance. Like, it just reminds me of like those little baby dolls that I had that had like a scent to them. It smells super girly, and the main thing that I get in here is strawberry. It's like a powdery, fluffy strawberry fragrance. If you do not like powdery, you're not going to enjoy this. This is very powdery, very fluffy and musky. And just imagine the strawberry being the center of the fragrance, with it being musky, powdery, and a little fruity, but it's just a strawberry fluffy scent. And it does last a good amount of time on me, and it does last on my clothes, and it does make me feel very girly, really flirty. It's not necessarily like a sexy fragrance to me. It's more of just like, I'm pretty, I'm really girly, and I usually wear it during the day if I'm just going anywhere really, and I also wear it for nighttime. So this is a really nice one. I'm not sure if this is like a favorite fragrance for me. Like, I can definitely live without this one. Like, once I go through this bottle, I'm not sure if I will repurchase it again, but I definitely love it. I think that it's just really, really nice, and it is the perfect scent for those strawberry lovers. Strawberry for me is not one of my top notes. Like, I prefer peach, I prefer coconut, I prefer citruses, vanilla, guava. So strawberry for me is nice, but it's not a note that I go crazy over. So it's nice to have a few fragrances with strawberry. But if I had to choose one of my favorite strawberry fragrances, it would be Haute Couture, because it's just so sexy to me. I get the strawberry in that one. I believe that one has raspberry as well, but it's so like smoky and sexy and girly at the same time. So that would be my favorite. But Burberry Her is really nice, and I do love when I wear it, and I feel like I smell really, really pretty when I'm wearing it. So I have no complaints with this one. So that brings me to the end of my perfume tray update. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let's go ahead and let's chat about the fragrances that I talked about today, especially this guy. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this because, girl, I don't know. I'm just kind of offended by that one. Like, I just feel like I had a best friend and she just backstabbed me. Pretty much that's how that fragrance is making me feel. But let's go ahead and let's chat about them. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ooh, la, la.